The Okafors had spent years hiding their scandals behind wealth and Christmas glamour. But on this Christmas morning, every secret burst out at once. Affairs, stolen money, hidden children. And the only person who could stop the family from destroying themselves was the maid they treated like dirt. Christmas morning began with a lie. A soft one. A familiar one. A lie the Okafors told themselves every year. We are a perfect family. The mansion glittered in gold ribbons and imported wreaths. Every bulb shone like it was competing for attention. The dining table sparkled under crystal lights. Expensive gifts sat under the towering Christmas tree, arranged by someone who wasn't allowed to sit with the family. Someone named Dominica. At 7 a.m., she stepped quietly across the marble floor, her tray of cinnamon rolls steaming gently. They were her secret pride, soft, warm, made with love she never received. She placed the first bowl when she noticed something strange. The mansion was too quiet. Not peaceful quiet. The dangerous kind. The kind that sits in the chest before a storm breaks. She felt it as deeply as she felt her heartbeat. And right on cue, a scream shattered the silence. Obiora. Madame Oma's voice tore through the house like cut glass. Dominica flinched. Every hair on her arm rose. The sound of crashing glass followed. Then hurried footsteps. She placed the tray down and turned. Just as Madame Oma stormed into the dining room, her face disfigured by rage. Her silk robe swayed violently. Her phone shook in her hand. Her breath came in harsh bursts. This was no ordinary marital argument. This was war. Chi, where is your Oga? Madam? I think he is. But she didn't finish. Madame Oma marched away, screaming her husband's name again. Dominica swallowed. The first crack had appeared. Next came a thunderous voice from upstairs. Everyone come out now. That was Adana, the eldest daughter. Spoiled, sharp-tongued, raised to be perfect, and pressured to be flawless. Her voice carried a different kind of anger, one born from humiliation. Dominica froze as Adana descended the staircase. Phone in hand, face flushed and trembling. Mummy, Daddy, what is the meaning of this? She shoved the phone into her mother's face. Who is the woman Daddy has been sending money to? Madame Oma recoiled as if the phone burned her. Chief Okafor had just entered the room and heard it too. He froze. His lips parted, but no words came out. Adana wasn't done. Transfers to Mirage Hotel? Every month? Daddy, who is she? A deep, eerie silence consumed the room. Madame Oma's hand trembled violently. Chief Okafor opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Adana, let me explain. But before he could, another voice cut through the mansion. Junior's voice. Raw. Broken. Shattering. Mummy. He stood at the top of the stairs holding a white envelope. His shoulders shook. His eyes were red. His hands trembling violently. Every member of the family turned. Junior clutched the envelope as if it contained his soul. Can somebody explain why this DNA says I'm not related to any of you? The envelope slipped, floating to the floor like a dead leaf. The house exhaled in horror. Chief Okafor dropped his wine glass. Madame Oma stumbled backward. Adana choked on her breath. Christmas morning died right there. Junior descended the staircase slowly, each step echoing like a drum of grief. So who is my real father? His voice cracked. Chief Okafor tried to approach him. Junior shoved him away. Don't touch me. Madame Oma's knees buckled. She gripped the railing to steady herself. Adana covered her mouth and sobbed. Miracle, the youngest, fainted dramatically, then peeked with one eye to see reactions. And Dominica? She felt her chest tighten. She had been in this house for 10 years. She had seen arguments. She had seen silent tears behind closed doors. She had seen lies brushed under expensive rugs. But she had never ever seen the Okafors break. Until now. Arguments erupted like explosions. Chief. Junior. There must be a mistake. Junior. Don't lie to me. Madame Oma. Junior. Please listen, please. Adana. Mummy, what did you do? Junior. Mummy, who is my father? Chief Okafor. Oma, answer him. Madame Oma broke into sobs, so heavy they shook her frame. The Christmas tree fell over during the shouting. Glass ornaments shattered across the floor. Miracle screamed again, mostly for attention. And through the chaos, Dominica looked at each face and saw something terrifying. Nobody was innocent. Not one of them. She knew pieces of every secret. Chief Okafor's hidden sister. Madame Oma's old flame. Adana's fake scholarship. Junior's father, who wasn't the man he thought. Miracle's addiction to TikTok clout. She knew more than she ever should have. But the most frightening secret? She knew today wasn't the real danger. The real danger was already inside the house. As the family argued, fragments of cheese past flashed through her mind. She remembered the first day she arrived. She was 16, skinny, and terrified. Her aunt had pushed her into the mansion, saying, "Serve them well. Make yourself useful." For years she scrubbed floors while listening to whispers. She learned where they hid money, who they cheated on, who they forgave, who they hated, who they pretended to love. And she learned something darker. People who hide their pain often hide their cruelty too. She had endured insults, slaps, humiliation, long nights, and loneliness under this roof. But she stayed because she needed the money, and because leaving would mean returning to a world that had already abandoned her. But this Christmas, the mansion felt like it was finally collapsing under the weight of every secret. And yet, Kayamika sensed something worse. Something watching, listening, waiting. As she bent to pick up broken glass, she heard a sound from the hallway. A soft click. The back door. Her skin went cold. The family was all here. No one had gone outside. Another click. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Her blood turned to ice. Not today. Not him. She put down the tray and walked quietly toward the back of the house. The living room chaos raged behind her, but she tuned it out. Her instincts screamed. Her fears whispered. There was someone in the house. Someone who didn't belong. And if she was right, the Okafors were in more danger than they realized. She reached the kitchen. The back door was slightly open. Cold harmattan wind swept in. On the floor were muddy footprints. Large ones. On the counter, a torn piece of faded cloth. Dark brown. Old. And familiar. Her heart plummeted. Only one person she knew wore that cloth. Uche. Madame Oma's estranged brother. A man who swore the Okafors would pay for what they stole. A man capable of anything. Anything. The arguments behind her suddenly felt childish. The DNA test wouldn't kill anyone. The affair wouldn't kill anyone. The stolen money wouldn't kill anyone. But Uche? He might. And unlike the Okafors, who ignored her existence, he never ignored Chi. He studied her, watched her, noticed her, and not in a good way. Her breath caught in her chest. If Uche was here, the family wasn't dealing with a scandal. They were dealing with a threat. Kayamika stood at the back door, staring at the muddy footprints that did not belong to anyone in the family. A gust of harmattan swept in, lifting the edge of the torn cloth on the counter. She picked it up slowly. The fabric felt rough against her fingers. Old, worn, stained with grease and engine oil. Uche's signature. Her chest tightened. The arguments upstairs raged on, echoing like thunder. Tell us the truth, Mummy. Obiora, don't walk away from me. You ruined my life. But those were emotional wounds, and emotional wounds do not kill. A man like Uche could. Kayamika took a slow breath, placed the cloth into her pocket, and stepped silently toward the generator house. She did not shout. She did not warn anyone. The Okafors would never listen. They only listened when disaster hit them directly. She pushed the door open and froze. A shadow moved inside. Slowly, purposefully. Kayamika stepped back, instinctively pressing herself against the wall. Her breath turned shallow. Then a low, chilling voice slid out of the darkness. You're still here, Chi. Her stomach dropped. He stepped into view. Uche, Madame Oma's younger brother. A man whose bitterness had grown claws. His face looked thinner than she remembered. His eyes wilder. His lips twisting into a smile that made her skin crawl. I thought by now you would have run away from this family. He said softly. But you never leave. Kayamika's fingers tightened around the fire extinguisher she carried with her, just in case. You shouldn't be here, she whispered. Uche chuckled. Oh, I should, Chi, I should. Today is the day justice finally comes to this house. Justice. Coming from him. The words sounded like a threat dipped in poison. She scanned the room quickly, generator humming, fuel drums stacked to the side, wires exposed. Then she saw it. A blinking red light. Her breath hitched. Not again. Not today. Uche leaned against the fuel tank casually, as if he hadn't just planted something deadly. Your madam thinks she can erase me from the family. His voice cracked slightly. Your Oga thinks money makes him God. He stepped closer. Too close. But today, everyone will finally see their true selves. His hand brushed the blinking device. A small bomb. Crude but powerful. One spark would blow up the entire generator room. And the mansion along with it. She swallowed hard. Her heart thundered. Her palms grew wet. She looked at Uche again. This wasn't anger anymore. This was madness. Uche, she said quietly, steadying her voice. If this goes off, everyone will die. Uche smiled. Let them. Her body trembled. There are children inside. He shrugged. Collateral damage. Kayamika's eyes widened. This man had lost all humanity. If she didn't act, this Christmas story would end in blood. Step back, Chi, he warned. This is not your fight. But it was her fight. Because if there was one thing Kayamika had learned after 10 years in the Okafor house, they did not deserve to die for their mistakes. They deserved to face them, not burn with them. Uche turned slightly, checking the timer. 12 minutes. 12 minutes before the house exploded. Kayamika made her choice. Her fingers curled around the fire extinguisher. Her heart hammered so loudly she felt it in her throat. Uche kept talking, rambling about injustice, about the inheritance he was denied, about how he would reset the Okafor dynasty. He didn't see her move. He didn't see the extinguisher swing. But he felt it. Thwack. It slammed into his arm. He screamed, dropping his crowbar. Kayamika dashed past him toward the device. Her breath rapid, her hands trembling. 10 minutes. She ripped open the small metal box. Wires of different colors tangled together. Red, blue, yellow, black. Her mind raced. She wasn't trained for this. She didn't know about explosives. She didn't know about wiring. But she knew one thing. If she didn't try, they would all die. Uche lunged toward her. Chi. Another swing of the extinguisher. She hit him across the face this time. He fell back, groaning. She reached for the wires. Pulled the blue one. The light blinked faster. She gasped. Wrong one. She pulled the yellow wire. The light stopped. Everything went silent. Then she heard her own breath again. She had done it. She had actually done it. Uche roared, scrambling to his feet. But two security men burst in, grabbing him by the arms. Madam's orders. Leave him alive. Uche kicked, spat, cursed, screamed. I will be back. You will all pay. Kayamika lowered the extinguisher slowly, her hands shaking so badly, she almost dropped it. Her breathing was ragged. Her knees felt weak. Her throat ached with unshed tears. She saved them. Again. And she knew they would still look at her like air. But saving lives didn't require thanks. It only required courage. She walked back into the mansion. Silent. Dusty. Exhausted. And bruised. The entire Okafor family stared at her. Their arguments had stopped mid-sentence. Chief Okafor's eyes widened. Madame Oma covered her mouth. Adana blinked in confusion. Junior stepped closer, still trembling from the DNA shock. Miracle sat upright, shocked out of her drama. Chief finally found his voice. Chi, why do you look like that? She swallowed. There was an explosive. Gasps erupted. A what? Where? Who planted it? Kayamika looked at Madame Oma. Their eyes met. Slowly, painfully, Madame Oma whispered. My brother. Junior's rage reignited. First I find out I don't belong here. And now there's a what? Adana shouted. Mummy, how many secrets do you even have? Miracle cried. Are we going to die today? Chief Okafor turned to his wife. Oma, what have you been hiding? But Madame Oma wasn't looking at her husband. She was staring at Kayamika, really seeing her. Maybe for the first time in 10 years. Her voice trembled. Chi, did you stop it? Kayamika nodded weakly. Yes, madam. Chief Okafor stepped back, stunned. You saved this entire house. Kayamika didn't answer. She didn't need to. For the first time since she entered this house, they looked at her not as a maid, not as furniture, not as background noise, but as a human being. A brave one, a loyal one, a protector, a woman who risked her life for a family that had never risked anything for her. Adana whispered, Why would you do that for us? Kayamika's throat tightened. She thought of all the nights she cried alone, all the insults she swallowed, all the responsibility she carried quietly. She thought of leaving so many times, but never did. So she answered honestly, because no matter how broken a family is, nobody deserves to die on Christmas morning. Tears filled Madame Oma's eyes. Chief Okafor sat down slowly, his pride melting. Junior looked away, ashamed. Miracle reached out and held Chi's hand. No one said anything for a long time. But everything had changed. The living room felt too small for the amount of pain inside it. Everyone stood in stunned silence, but the silence didn't last. It never lasted in the Okafor home. Junior broke first. He wiped his face aggressively, pacing back and forth like a trapped animal. So after everything I've been shouting about, Kayamika is the only thing you people care about? Really? His voice cracked. No one answered. Chief Okafor finally gathered himself enough to speak. Junior, we were. Don't talk to me. Junior roared. Madame Oma sobbed quietly in a corner. Guilt was eating her alive. Adana leaned against the wall, arms crossed tightly, eyes full of bitterness and something else, fear. Miracle simply stared wide-eyed at Kayamika like she was a superhero. Kayamika, feeling awkward under their stares, lowered her eyes. She wasn't used to being seen. It made her uncomfortable, dangerously uncomfortable. Junior finally stopped pacing and turned sharply to his mother. His voice shook, but it carried the weight of 10 years of silent confusion. Mummy, who is my father? The room snapped to attention. Madame Oma froze. Chief Okafor stiffened. Adana gasped. Miracle whispered. Oh God. Kayamika stood very still, hands clasped, heart sinking. She already knew the answer. She had known for years, but it wasn't her place to say it. Madame Oma trembled violently. Her breath came in small, sharp bursts. She opened her lips. Closed them. Opened them again. Finally, she said, Junior, please sit down. Junior's voice was low, dangerously low. Tell me his name. Madame Oma held onto the arm of a chair as if it were the only thing keeping her standing. Your father. She swallowed. A tear slipped down. Is not Chief Okafor. Chief Okafor shut his eyes painfully, as if expecting the blow. Adana covered her mouth. Junior's face was drained of color. But she wasn't done. Her voice was barely a whisper. Your biological father is my ex-fiancé. Adana dropped to the couch. Miracle gasped loudly. Chief Okafor looked like a man stabbed in the chest. Junior blinked rapidly. Your ex-fiancé? Madam nodded weakly. His name was. But Junior cut her off with a scream. Oh my God, Mummy. His rage resurfaced hard and fast. You mean this man has been raising another man's child for 10 years, and you didn't tell him? He pointed at Chief, who sat with his head down, shaking. You let me call him Daddy. You let me. His voice broke. His rage collapsed into raw heartbreak. Why didn't you tell me? Madame Oma sobbed harder. Because he left me. The room went still. Even Chief froze. Madame continued through tears. I was pregnant with you when he abandoned me. Obiora, Chief married me and accepted you. He gave you his name. He raised you as his own. I wanted to protect you from the shame. Junior backed away as if her words burned him. So all of you have been lying to me. Chief whispered. I love you, Junior. I raised you. I never saw you as anything other than my son. But Junior's face twisted in pain. Then why did you order a DNA test? The question struck Chief like thunder. Everyone turned to him. The air thickened. Chief swallowed, looking at the floor. Because. He hesitated. Your mother and I have not been intimate in almost a year. Dead silence. Adana covered her mouth in shock. Miracle whispered. Jesus. Madame Oma looked shattered. Junior stormed closer, shaking. So because your marriage is bad, you decided I might not be your son? Chief stuttered. I was hurt, suspicious and angry. Junior screamed. So you decided to check if I belong here? Tears streamed down his face. Do you know how that feels? Chief shut his eyes. He knew. He had just never admitted it. Adana suddenly spoke. Her voice was sharp. Cold. Junior, you're acting like you haven't been difficult since birth. Junior froze. What did you just say? Adana stepped forward, anger flashing in her eyes. I'm tired of pretending. You've always felt different. Always causing trouble. Always angry. Always fighting everyone. Junior's chest heaved. Because I've always felt like I didn't belong here. Adana snapped back. Maybe because you didn't. Miracle gasped again. Chief shouted. Adana, enough. But the damage was done. Junior looked like someone had stabbed him. Adana realized what she said too late. Her lips trembled. Junior, I didn't mean. You did. Junior whispered. His voice was ghostly. Broken. You just said what you've always thought. Tears spilled down his cheeks. None of you ever treated me like I was part of this family. Never. He pointed at Chief and Madam. Now I know why. He pointed at Adana. And you? You're happy I don't belong. Adana cried. Junior, stop please. But Junior was done. He shook violently. Then he screamed, "I hate this family." And he ran out. Full speed. Straight outside. Into the cold harmattan morning. Madame Ifioma collapsed onto her knees. "What have I done?" Chief didn't comfort her. He didn't touch her. He sat on the couch, exhausted and expressionless. Broken. Miracle started crying quietly. Adana shook as tears ran down her face. The room felt haunted. And then, Chief turned his head slowly toward Kayamika. His eyes were tired. Dark. Suspicious. She. Her heart jumped. "Not again. You knew about the DNA, didn't you?" She froze. Madame Oma looked up sharply. "What are you saying?" Chief stood. She knew. She is always listening. Always watching. She knows every secret in this house. Adana wiped her face. Wait. She knew Junior wasn't. Kayamika's throat tightened. "I never said anything." Chief shouted. "Because you listened and kept quiet." It cut her deeply. Madame Oma added weakly. "Chi, did you know?" Chi's eyes filled with tears. "Madam, it was not my place to." Adana exploded. "So you let us live like this while you knew the truth?" Miracle whispered. "Chi, how could you?" The accusations pierced her like knives. She saved their lives hours ago. And now? They looked at her like a traitor. Like a snake hiding in their walls. Chi's voice shook. "I never meant harm. I only kept quiet because it was not my." Chief raised a hand to silence her. "Enough." He looked at her the way a master looks at a servant. Cold. Superior. Dismissive. "Get out." Kayamika's breath broke. "Sir." His jaw tightened. "Get out." Her heart shattered. Madame Oma watched quietly, guilt mixing with shame. Adana looked at Kayamika with betrayal. Miracle cried softly. And Kayamika walked out slowly. Her chest heavy. Her soul bruised. Her eyes burning. For 10 years, she served this family. Loved them. Protected them. Saved them. And now, because she didn't expose their secrets, they kicked her out. If you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe for more.